because I seen that and then there was the storm and I was like, oh no. I hope that frame is really strong because if not, it's gone.
They get it done.
No, I don't think I think the metal's still not in for the roof, but they had it all framed. It's nice. It's tucked in the woods, really nice.
Does she
I'm
have
kind of
kids
impressed.
helping her?
Hmm?
Does she have kids helping her?
Her and her husband are doing it, I think.
Unless she's got her daughters helping.
Yeah.
But.
I think there was a time Grant came through and they wanted to hold that frame.
Okay, just so you know, you're live streaming now, so. All right, and the meeting is locked down, so.
I forget. We're all like,
Yeah, it wasn't me. Was it Steve? I think it was, he's not on the board anymore. Yeah, I do remember that now. I was there to do a presentation.
we're there for the
Yeah.
presentation, not much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
Like a really important Zoom thing, and he was on vacation. Okay, I'm showing 5 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. I'll ask those who can to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the agenda. However, there are 3 items I would like to amend in the closed session. Thank you, Dave. Item 10, paraprofessional hiring. Item 11, assistant football coach, and item 12, internal position. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to accept the agenda with the 3 amendments.
I'll second.
Is that you, Jamie?
Yep.
Okay, I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Jamie to approve the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Comments from the public? No? Okay. Then we'll move to the treasurer's report. And I believe it was noted at budget, we're doing a little bit of short-term borrowing right now. Is that right, Laura? Yeah, and this just a little bit as of the end of last month.
I'll make the motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
But motion, I gotta look because I can't, I just hear it coming from that side of my head.
That's all right.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Kelly. See, you can't tell
No, I
you.
can't really, so you got to speak up just a wee bit now.
Okay, to approve the treasurer's report as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. President's report. Okay, so guys, it's that time. I have put this off because we have new members. And so it's the board's responsibility to evaluate the superintendent. And we've had so many moving members, we've put it off and we've put it off, but we really do need to do this because it is contract year. So what I'm going to give everyone, and Dave, I have a copy for you as well, is what we call the administrator's performance evaluation. And what happens is Kevin fills out. And then I take all of your reports back to me and I average them, so to speak. And Kevin and I sit down, and sometimes if the clerk's available, the clerk will be in there just with us. And we go over Kevin's evaluation of himself and how the board evaluates him. And we point out any areas that we believe may need some improvement or any areas that we'd like to see done differently, that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm giving you these today because I'm going to ask that you try to get them filled out within the next couple of weeks and give them back to me. Any area you don't know about, which is very common, you just skip. Okay, if you don't feel that you have any information about it, there's one time we sat down, Kevin and I just said to him, how do you think you're doing? Because I have no idea,
Yeah, I'll provide.
you know?
I'll provide evidence in every one of those areas.
Yeah, so he gives us why he thinks he should be rated the way he is, and we weigh that against the board. And then we come up with if there's any goals for the coming year. And we'd like to do that like this time of year, because contracts renew, non-renew, or negotiation is generally in January. So that way he knows if there's anything that we want him to work on before that, so he's not blindsided at a contract negotiation. So I'm just giving that out as information today. And again, if you could get them back to me, say around the 15th of August would be good, so that I can compile everything. I have to put all the data together. And if there's anything I don't understand, so I have time to question you on it. So that I can make sure I understand where you're coming from before I meet with Kevin. Okay?
Mhm.
And that is all I have. So at this time, we'll move on to Kevin's report.
Okay, I shared this already with budget. Some of you may have been there. The email from Senator Quinn, I had a lot of dialogue back and forth. And this is all prior to budget. This is old news at this point in time. So then from the gap widening email that came from another entity, the Wisconsin Public Education Network, they kind of evaluated that. And then finally, the budget recap from our lobbyist who works on our behalf. The school districts, administrators, the school principal, the school boards. And then so you can see, I just highlighted all the areas in the budget recap. And then I'm waiting for a legislative fiscal bureau analysis of the budget. I don't think any of this stuff in here is a surprise to you because it's older data. But I just want to make sure everybody had a chance to see it. I mean, I think you guys get these emails too, if I'm not mistaken, from
Some of it, yeah.
Wisconsin Alliance, and then. it's
Yeah,
not-
because I had contacted you about the one
Yep.
even before, yeah, saying how come they're taking away our money?
Yeah.
And the fact that they somehow tie it to Milwaukee School makes no sense to me, that we're
once,
losing money because of
Yeah, they always get
Milwaukee.
paid, and then once the budget hearing comes out, then I'll just incorporate some of this data after it's kind of finalized. from the
Right.
State into the budget hearing.
So the main thing is that, so when we prepared the budget, we obviously thought we were going to get this aid because we've gotten it for years, and now all of a sudden that aid category just disappeared and all the money just went away with it. So it puts us at a shortage before we even start the year.
And so there's a couple of things that are changed there that I'll put in the hearing as well. That
Mhm.
does give us a little more aid in areas and then also lowers the taxes. So as we get more aid, the public tax base goes down. So it's.
Correct.
So I mean, taxpayers will be happy about that.
Mhm.
But yeah, and so with the referendum that we passed to, that was helpful.
Anybody have questions for Kevin? If not, Carrie, you're next.
All right, Jamie and I both have the same thing, so we'll just kind of tag team our reports tonight, if that's okay. So we had the opportunity to go to a professional learning community conference down in Vegas. Most phenomenal conference I've ever been to. Well worth the money to get there and be there and do that. I think that it's going to be helpful in moving our teams forward as we're looking at 2 new curriculum pieces with that math only a year old and then the new ELA.
Mhm.
I think it's going to really focus our discussions and help us move forward with collaborating and looking at the data and making sure that we're doing student-centered and student-specific changes in everything that we do. Really focused in on those achievers.
And I think that they did a really great job of addressing how this works in small schools, a lot of tools and ideas for how to make these vertical teams align and work together as collaborative teams to really improve our learning outcomes for our students, and then just more collaboration on our staff.
Any questions for Carrie or Jamie? No? Denise?
It's my standard end of July that has to go out in August, our annual special ed notices, special referral and evaluation procedures, and our child find activities and confidentiality pieces. This year, the referral and evaluation procedures are going to go out to each family in the district in the mailings that are sent up by the district office. in digging through some stuff that cannot just be posted on the Facebook now, it has to be sent out and done a little differently. They will still be posted on my Facebook page and probably on my website and probably on the Facebook page. As well as the annual notice for homeless children. Will be posted on my website and Facebook page. I will be sending letters out to those families that were considered homeless last year, as well as the families in transitions sheet to see if we're still in that mode of needing to qualify for those services.
How effective is mailing those out to those that are in such transitions?
If they're still in the building, they're still in the district and the kids are attending here, most of the time they will send them back.
Okay.
I think because homeless in a school,
Right, I know
so
what
many
you
of them are with relatives,
right,
that they get the mail even
They
if they
do,
move.
okay.
Yep.
There's still a way to contact them.
And for new families coming in, the questionnaire is in all the enrollment packets anyway. So if families are coming in, if they're in the faith house or something, we still get that information.
Any questions for Denise? No? All right. Tara had an emergency come up, so she has asked that I share her update here. The first one is the outdoor classroom and the frame is all up. They are waiting for metal roofing and it should be installed next week. And then that classroom is basically done. And the tribe is planning a back to school event. They're saying it will be in August and at the new event center, but they have not given her a confirmed date yet. So Tara will make sure those families that are affected will be notified and know when that is to the best of her ability. And that's all that she had for this evening. So if you have any questions, you have to wait and ask Tara because I only know what was on the piece of paper. So at this time, we will move into the approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the regular board minutes from the June 27th meeting.
Sorry.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Tom to approve the meeting minutes from the regular school board meeting on June 27th. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. New business. SR3, again, any input, and I believe the district has not received any input from any of the taxpayers. So we can move to temporary short-term borrowing.
So what do you want? me to-
Is it just the resolution to approve Community Bank as the short-term lender for the school district?
So I can make a motion to approve Community Bank as the short-term borrowing agent.
I'll
for
second that, Jamie.
School.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Jamie. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Middle school cross-country.
Okay, I've asked Carson to come. We've debated this over and over again, and finally, it's just gonna have to come down to the board to make a decision on whether they want to have, whether you guys want to have middle school cross-country or not. I see Mr. Howe is here. I guess what I'll do is if you have questions or if you want to lead the discussion, Ryan is here. I think you wanted numbers at one point in
Yeah.
time.
Has there been any attempt to find out if there's any kids that want to participate?
When Jeff had his meeting, he only met with the eighth graders. So Jeff did not meet with the incoming middle schoolers, so we have no numbers and stuff.
Okay, so at this time, let me just make sure I understand. There would be no additional cost to the district. Is that correct? You would coach them along with the high school and they would attend meets?
Would it be, I believe there's a middle school cost and for the meet.
A separate fee just for the meet though?
Yes.
And that's like $100, same as high school?
On the school, but in that neighborhood.
So do we want to make a motion based on a number? Do we just want to make a motion? Does anyone
I
have
just
any
want to make a
suggestions?
motion. I think we allow it, offer it, see what happens.
Okay, so your motion is to approve middle school
Yes.
cross-country.
I'll second it.
Okay, so I have a motion by Jamie, seconded by Dave to approve middle school cross-country. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. We'll try it for a year, Jeff, see what happens.
Can I just clarify one thing?
Yes.
I just didn't hear real well. Did he say there was no other, there was just meat fees only? There were no other like.
Correct.
coaching fees, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Well, if nobody signs up, obviously we'll know. I mean.
How are they gonna? How are we gonna notify them to know that, because it starts before school starts? And I told all middle school kids it was off the table till next year.
Okay, so when do the middle school mailings go out?
Thursday last week.
When do the middle school mailings go
By
out?
the 15th, all mailings will be going in the mail.
So can we put something in there
Facebook.
Can we
and on
do an
Facebook?
all call, just do an all call, letting parents know that we're offering it? To get it out, when do you?
Can you do that?
plan to start practice the 14th, don't you? If stuff's not going in the mail to the 15th, are you gonna wait to middle school later?
Well, I mean, we might force them to that, but high school starts on the 14th or 15th.
Are you having a meeting before then?
Okay.
Are you having any meetings before then?
With the high schoolers.
Any meetings?
Yeah. It's done.
I can't now because tomorrow's within the contact date, right?
Right.
So I know.
Okay.
No.
So we can have the school do an all call,
Do an all call. We know.
just saying they need to be at practice at whatever time Mr. House having the first practice. And if they show up, they show up. If they don't, I guess
They
they're,
also have to have all the paperwork and they have to have physicals. They have.
right, but if we do an all call, we can,
Is a phone call better or an email?
Facebook.
And I mean, there's Facebook as well.
Right.
Which is easy to do, but if.
but not
we're doing
everybody has it.
If we're doing the all call options, is there a way to just do an email instead of a phone
The way
call?
all call works is it gives me options to do all of them. So it
Right.
gives me options to email. You've seen those, right?
Yep.
With
You're
weather.
right.
Yeah, so.
So you can do all.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to I can just click it to.
So
every-
we just need Mr. Howe to tell you what time and where for have them meet on the 14th.
It's 14th, is that, if that's a Monday?
It is.
That is Monday.
Yeah.
Then that's the day high school started.
Okay, but they have to have their paperwork in prior to that.
Yeah.
And the sixth grade don't even know anything about it.
Right, which is the sixth grade are the only ones that might be an issue because I'm guessing that anybody in seventh or eighth grade has already known they have to get a physical if they're gonna be in sports, so they've probably already gotten it. Most kids get their sports physicals
Unless they're
before
in
school
the ball.
starts. It's possible, but
And they can't join after that date, like if they don't
No,
have.
no, they absolutely, they could, yeah.
they need to come that night and,
Participate until they have their physical.
Even when school starts.
Perfect. So if they show up that first day,
and they
They
don't have
can't-
their stuff,
they
they
don't have
can
the
say,
stuff.
I want to, but I need to get my stuff together.
right, they can't practice until they've got their
Physical.
physical done and their paperwork in, but you could hand the paperwork to them that day.
Right.
Talk to a parent or whatnot.
So Jeff, if you would just send me an email or something that would give me a communicative message.
Okay,
You know, what to say, what the time and dates are and things like that,
great.
just so I know what to do.
And then we'll put it on the Facebook page and
Yeah, it'll all.
send it out as an
same
all
message.
call and we'll see what happens.
You
It's
may
the same
also,
message.
I also want to add that, the athletic form is on the school website, but under parent, I know I found it, but I don't remember where you click to be able to print one off.
The physical form.
Yeah, the physical form.
Yep.
Directions, if parents are looking for that
Well,
to get
and-
them.
So-
Well, if it's an email.
Communicate for the athletic Use from the website.
Like it's. Disease.
So if they state so you can compare.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the 23-24 academic standards, educational options, exhibit 343.
So every year we bring forward the education options that we offer here in Siren. It's a state statute that we do this. We are making a few changes based on new information that we've received through the state. So we're adding in what our curriculum pieces are, and then on page 3 of 3, we also have when we adopted those standards. And then once approved by you, then the revision will be updated also dates. So
So this is, you can see, this is a school board developed policy, WASB. So this is an annual notice kind of type of arrangement. This has to be done first board meeting in January every year.
So you'll see it again in January.
Got it. Or, I mean, July's first board meeting, and then typically we discuss it in January.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the academic standards options for 23-24.
A second, Kelly.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Kelly to approve the 2023-2024 academic standards educational options. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 23-24 safe return to school review.
Okay, every 6 months, we're required to provide this as long as ESSER money is still being used in that. Until they tell us we don't need to do this anymore, we're continuing to. So we're at our 6 month time period with no changes in the plan.
I'll motion to approve the 23-24 safe to return to school review.
A second.
A motion by Katie, seconded by Kelly to approve the 23-24 safe return to school review. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Policy 185,
Okay, this did go.
standing committees.
Yeah, it's the growth policy committee, and I believe in an attempt to be in line with Robert's rule of orders, we want to make sure that we don't have a quorum situation.
Mhm.
And sometimes when we have sidebar conversations, that does put us in a little bit of a pickle because we have more people in the committee attending. So we just want to modify that language.
So basically, the change, as I understand it, is simply that if you are an attendee at a committee meeting and you are not a member of the committee, you have to ask the chair of the committee.
I mean,
for
that would
permission to
be-
speak.
That would be recommended. It's just, not that you don't can't.
You still are allowed to participate in everything. It just stops some of the side conversations from happening because you're actually recognized to speak at that time.
And they're not.
And they cannot vote.
Yeah.
That's, the rules,
They had it.
right?
I'll make a motion to accept policy 185. I'll second that.
I have a motion by Kelly, seconded by Jamie to approve policy 185. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Policy 610, comp time and flexible scheduling.
This also went to policy. It was discussed and the changes are outlined in yellow, and that was moved forward from policy to this. To the full board for approval.
Make a motion to accept policy 610.
I'll second that.
A motion by Kelly, seconded by Katie. To accept policy 610. Any discussion? I have a question. You knew I would. Flex time is by a single work week. Does that mean it has to happen within the same week? Because then it says it should be within 168 hour time period, and the two seem to conflict to me because nobody works 168 hours in a week.
I don't know.
I'm confused by that.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure we're talking about flex time versus comp time.
I'm reading paragraph 1. Flex time is by a single work week. It should be within 168 hour continuous time period. Nobody here works a work week of 168 hours. Even if it feels like it. I'm confused by that paragraph.
Okay.
That was the same thing you addressed in the committee meeting that it is.
I wonder if they're referring to the fact that there's 168 hours in a week. So in that 1 week, you would have to.
Okay.
See, you're probably smarter
It
than me,
says, here's
Tom.
what Bob said, so flex time is by a single work week as defined by policy. It should be within 168 hour continuous time period. The start times and end times are not set by law, but the start and end times of the week should be internally consistent for all.
Sorry, tell me that. I think I got it now. Okay, so if I take 24 hours times 7, I get 160.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now I understand. I'm getting
So
really
you want that
confused by that.
clarified some-
No, I'm good now. I understand. I'm probably the only slow person. I'm not a
But if
good
you're
math
having
person.
difficulty, you know, should this be spelled out?
Well,
That-
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
It
it
would be easier if it would be like, it has to be a Monday through Sunday or a Sunday through a Saturday, or do you know what I'm saying?
Right, whatever our work
Yeah.
week is here. I mean, it's basically saying the same thing. Flex time is by a single work week. And you
Yeah, to
could
me,
put
if
in
it
like
just
a
said that, I would have
comma,
been good, but.
you know, as,
Hours.
which is hundred and
Right,
sixty-eight
'cause
hours.
nobody works overnight here, like, we don't even have maintenance working.
No, but the flex
But
time
we
is like
could.
I take an hour
That's
off
kind of the
Monday
point.
and I work an extra hour Friday. Like, it's just allowing that flexibility, and it could be any hour of
Yeah,
the.
I mean, it could be depending on your job. I suppose you
Mhm.
could come in and work
It
midnight
has to
till,
be approved
8 a.m.
anyways.
Mhm.
right?
So.
So I guess I'm okay with it. It just, the math thing just throws me there, because I never think of any week as being 168 hours. I guess, never broke it out. Okay.
I have one question about the comp time part. That it doesn't say it explicitly in here, but that comp time is being accrued at an hour, a 1.5 rate. Right, as overtime,
Yes, it has to.
the third part, is it in there? Okay,
Oh,
Then I
there it
just
is. It's just not in
It's
yellow.
at the top.
got it, okay.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Kitchen, steamer, and oven quotes.
Okay, this was taken to buildings and grounds. There was a motion.
Yes, out of budget.
Yeah, a budget to bring this quote forward for approval.
Did we find out what the installation costs?
Steve.
Wednesday, February 25th.
It's the email in your packet.
So they don't have it yet. But working with it.
Do we want to, is it not known?
He was out of the country.
Well, then, because I think we were telling her to lean towards this Daily and Deroma one for
Because-
that install and removal part.
Right.
But,
She hasn't chosen which convectional oven she wants.
yeah, that as well.
Option 2.
Option 2
Yeah.
out of the ovens.
That's what.
Oh, yeah, that's what we got out of the last meeting, I believe.
The convection,
I
yeah.
remember.
And the kitchen did have the money in their budget
Right,
to pay for it, so.
okay.
Um,
Well, hopefully.
I would assume that the
10 grand or
install,
something.
yeah,
And but it's the removal as well. I mean, so that there may
they're
be
taking the.
a cost. I mean, they're not. Like completely scrap, she said. I mean, they do function. But I don't know if it's worth our,
I mean, she
Time
would
to
level
try to
along
sell them.
Probably for the year if you could.
right,
So
Oh.
what I think
I don't want to try to
She's
replace. kitchen
part of the
equipment.
removal, I mean, there is some value to them. So if we're paying for
Right.
removal, it's like, I'm gonna pay you to take something of value,
Mhm.
which, you know.
I don't know if how we monkey around with.
The
trying
only other
to-
thing was we would have to do, there's an auction site,
Right.
but then if they don't sell, then we still got to pay someone to come haul them away and.
I don't know if it's worth it.
I'm not sure it is either, to be perfectly honest.
Um,
I mean, if it was free disposal and we could just wash of it.
It would be interesting to just know what those costs are. For install and removal.
So you wanted to go back to,
I don't, I want it installed before.
That's what we
Christmas.
just-
You want it-
I think we're just gonna have to go with it, and it's gonna have to come out of Tiffany's budget in the kitchen, so if it's extreme, she's gonna have to find a way to make it work.
She did try.
I understand.
Well, we-
I mean, if he's out of the country, he's out of the country. She can't
And we
make
can
him fly
approve
back.
it and she can just say, I'm not gonna go ahead with. it,"
Correct.
right?
If it's
it is
extravagant, she could say, no,
Uh,
we'll try to get by till Christmas anyway, because
Okay.
we don't really want them replacing equipment
Right.
during the school year. We want it on a break in the calendar.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
if we don't get it now, it would be Thanksgiving before
So
there's a
are we gonna
longer
approve
break.
it with the amendment of pending on cost of removal?
Just at Tiffany's discretion.
I think we are gonna have to, because we're not gonna call a special meeting. just-
Yeah.
I mean, it's our budget,
So we'll
so,
just make sure we get the motion right here.
okay,
I'd make the motion to go ahead with the steamer and the second convection oven. Along with installation, providing that Tiffany doesn't believe it to be too extreme in the additional costs.
I'll second that.
okay, I have a motion by Tom, seconded by Jamie. for the kitchen steamer and oven, and I'm not gonna repeat it. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Seal coating the parking lot.
So there's a second bid that came in late, but if you look at the buildings, motion, Katie and Dwayne for the full board desire to have Roy seal coating, so that must be lot. The amount of $6,050 and the Southwest Sealed Lobby line for the amount of $750. So you have that in there
Yeah.
in front of you. And then the other one just came in late, but I don't think you can see the cost.
Well, so they're using infrared seamless patching system. So is that a different technology? We don't know, because there's nothing
That's
specific
not
on
a
Roy.
question I can answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan just
I
presented
don't know that it
that. We
matters.
told him he didn't need to be here because we thought the cost was.
Yeah.
We couldn't pay 11,000 more, even if it is.
It's already
more.
been done, or not yet.
No, the
Not done yet.
building committee
Okay.
approved that one moving forward. So we
Right.
didn't have any other, bid at that time. This one came in about.
Yeah. No, I say go with the lower one anyway, because I mean, the parking lots are gonna be in need of more repair anyway. Like this is just to
Right.
tide us over.
Yeah, and that's
For
part of the strategic
resurfacing.
plan as well, so.
So I'll approve the seal coat quotes from Roy's seal coating.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Kelly, to go with the seal coating quotes from Roy Seal Coating. Quote. I
I know.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Jackson Plumbing.
What is the stormwater?
The village asked that the drain, the runoff from the south end of the building runs across the grass and puts dirt onto the sidewalk. So they would like,
The band.
yeah, they would like.
Yeah, so you see our
downspouts connected.
downspouts, the ones, Daniels had done them years back, out in front of the building, kind of by the left there, and they just come down and they go through the ground. And then on the other side towards B, those were still left exposed and the village based on a statute or policy or something that we got,
Yes.
when we went to me, we were
Because of the sidewalk.
required to finish that up. And so that's what this quote is for, to have them finished like the other.
I just didn't know if it was, I was
So it's just
thinking
to
it was
take-
something with the playground,
No,
so.
The the water from the downspout under the
Yeah.
ground level to the storm sewer. is that
Instead of
correct?
going
Versus
overground.
over the ground.
I think it's a little over the top for them. I mean, there's like 10, 15 feet of
Yeah,
grass there that it doesn't seem like it sweeps a whole lot. But if we want help keeping this corner clean, this was what they came back with and said, well, by the way, you could really
Yeah.
get this done.
It's almost
You
a
said you would.
quid pro quo on that one, sure.
And we only got one quote for it.
Yes,
Hmm.
Doesn't look excessive, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we were under on the,
yeah, we talked to Daniels
other-
and, I mean, it was, I think this was one of the only ones that were available at that time. Dan felt like he played.
yeah. Well, it'll get done. I'll make a motion to accept the Jackson Plumbing for the stormwater.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Jamie to approve or to accept the quote from Jackson Plumbing for the storm water. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. ALC building update.
So I got a response from the realtor Judy Court. We had been going back and forth. I think you guys have seen an email. So basically, I was asked by Buildings, I believe it was, maybe it was budget, to go back and ask her about the repairs. So she did respond and say she did have a few contractors look out at the roof. Corey said the owner, current owner, would be willing to replace the roof. And then that would, with the new roof, she would charge $140,000 for the building.
And this is for the current building we were in.
Yes.
And what was,
With a roof.
what was the
replacement.
asking price without the roof replaced?
They were asking 140 for the building.
104,
And then
so,
we came back and said, hey, would you look at some repairs?
Yeah.
And so she said, well, okay, Corey will pay for the roof.
So the roof is the only repair they're willing to do, though.
and there were other things that you would say,
Well, there were just other updates that would have been nice.
but nothing else structural or electrical or plumbing wise to the building that are in
No,
severe
this is all-
neglect,
This is the only. response.
just the roof.
I think we had to ask her, because we knew the roof was difficult and we knew there were some other issues, but we weren't sure exactly. what
Has
they
the
were.
roof been leaking?
Yes.
So are there mold mitigation issues that need to be looked at? Internal repair of drywall, carpeting, insulation?
It was running down a wall is what I was told. So I would assume if it was running down on the inside of a wall, there is work probably.
Came through a hole in the ceiling because I had a trash can out there.
And like every single time it rained, so this is a significant issue behind the drywall. It hasn't been opened up.
I don't think is it even drywall in there? Is it like that old paneling still in there?
I don't know for sure.
I'm trying to remember. I haven't been in there in a while.
Or when we get heavy snow and the snow melts. It
Mhm.
comes down.
The problem is if it is running through that wall, you're absolutely right. We don't know what's behind that wall without opening it up. And quite honestly, we shouldn't have had students in there in the first place if there's any chance that there's mold growing in those walls.
Yeah.
We'd have to have someone check.
Well,
I wouldn't
the
be-
Process, I don't know. I mean, that's.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know.
Well, just having a
You're a
building
builder. Can you
inspection
tell me,
done.
is there an inspector that would do something like that? How do you know?
They're just gonna check for moisture.
Oh.
They're just gonna check for active moisture with a
Yeah.
moisture meter. So they're not always checking
But it
for
might
the,
not be.
the dry mold part unless you get a
Right.
mold specialist in there. But you'd still just, I mean, just, it's not just the mold part, but the rot of the actual structure that's in there. And if that's.
I don't know.
too much for the building.
When we were looking at a building, what were we talking price? The portables. Can anyone remind me? Weren't we talking about 100,
200.
200?
Yeah, I mean, there was that really low quote.
Brought in.
Yeah.
But we talked about the possibility of like having one built.
Yeah.
local.
Well, that would be way less than
Yeah,
that.
that's what we would assume, because it was like.
That would, might be
30,000
less than
for-
140,000 just to have something built.
Yeah, they wanted like 30,000.
On our own
just for
ground.
ramp To get up
But to
into
hook
it.
up sewer, well, I don't know what's.
Well, it depends on where it's at. If it's can be hooked
What's
into.
the
a sewer
average
meter.
building square foot price right now?
Yeah, it's gonna, you know, I mean, obviously you don't have a kitchen and you, but you're still gonna have that bathroom
Right.
stuff. but-
Yep.
I mean, you could be
One bathroom's all we need.
square feet. 1,000 square feet.
No, no, no,
No, one bathroom. I
one
said.
bathroom.
Well, yeah. you-
It was like double wide size.
So, I mean, if you're looking at like 1,000 square foot building, you know, done, and it's gonna have to be designed and all that stuff,
Right.
you're gonna be 200, over 200 grand.
Yeah, and I think
But
that's
if
why
we're
you guys
paying
had asked to go back and ask.
It is.
I was hoping he would drop that price more than that, though. To me, 140,000, then if we have to pay some to go in there.
Yeah,
We
we
had a perfectly good one at that Rochelle's. It's $900.
yeah, we had talked about that.
Four rooms, got public bathrooms, you got a little kitchen thing.
Which one's that one?
and
It's the distance.
Avion accounting.
Freshly done.
We'd still have to get transportation for the kids to get to and from the building.
Yeah, that's the other part of the
Because that's-
transportation.
Yeah,
That one's
because that's
further
across the
away.
highway, so we'd have to bus from Meals over there. So that's additional busing costs.
Who's moving into Community Bank, into their two open lots down there? Did we
They're
ever
not
look at
doing
those?
anything with those right now.
I thought I saw doors open and people moving out.
That's
I was
because the bank's been using them
like, Okay,
for some of their business.
they do. Okay. I saw those and I was like, oh, that's so close too.
Yeah, no, without knowing, I'm
Well, I mean,
afraid if
I feel like
we
that's
commit
what you
100.
Want to come back with.
Yeah.
I know.
Discuss.
It
My,
is.
my
It
fear
is.
is if we pay 140 for it and then we find out there's mold in there and we have to rip it out, we're gonna end up paying over 200,000 for that building.
Offer 140.
No, I mean,
And I'm just not. I don't know.
I
that
would
we're
want it
ready. I think it needs to go back
inspected.
to buildings.
and yeah, I mean. it
I
could come
think
back.
it needs to go back to buildings and grounds to
Okay.
discuss.
But
what
if
all
that's
has to be
our,
done with it.
do we think that that's right now our most viable option, that building, that we want to start the process of trying to figure out inspecting it and how low we can get a price on it?
Not at 140.
Well, I get that, like not at that price.
Maybe if it was less.
But I thought we were talking about having other builders, maybe.
And we talked about having like our building trades class being involved in the construction of one potentially.
On site.
Yeah.
So like right now, our options are that building or look at building something on site.
Right.
And what happened with the equipment shed? Did we look into the,
That was gonna be like more than what.
that's even more than building? Okay.
And we're not gonna know, if those are our two likely options, then I think we're gonna need to get plans involved so that we have a size and a price per square foot. And otherwise that we're just gonna keep saying like, well, it would be nice, it might be
Yeah.
cheaper. We're not gonna know until we actually get an architect to put a plan on paper and a contractor to put a price to that.
You want to discuss that at buildings then at length?
I think buildings needs to discuss what we're going to do about it, because they're the ones that are in the end,
We
they're
did
gonna have to find
I
a.
mean, we did have plans with that other option that we were gonna have brought in. I mean, there were.
Right,
That building,
there
yeah.
was a picture there, but we're gonna need a blueprint plan if someone's gonna build it.
Or, well, you probably don't need an architect though. I mean, you can go to the lumber yards and do that. They got those computer programs now.
An architect that runs them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like we have to hire anyone.
You still pay for the blueprints. It's like a few $100s. It's not drastic, but you're gonna pay $600 to $1,000 to get the architectural blueprints that a contractor will be able to read and say, this is how much it will cost to do these things.
But
If they
usually,
consider it commercial, you still have to go through the state and you still have to have a.
If it's
state
commercial, I
licensed
figured it was gonna be
architect.
founded
You
too.
can keep it still.
So either it comes to building, so we just talk about the size and
Yeah.
what should go in it, or do we just let you guys figure that out and you bring that plan back to building?
I mean, it would be just Siren, so we know that we don't need the square footage we had before, because we're not gonna have any other schools going in with us anymore.
I think we can bring it back to.
Yeah,
buildings and
we'll have
discuss
to-
the steps
Okay.
To move forward and who's doing what.
Okay.
Perchance when it gets to buildings and whatnot, if there's a way of knowing what current square footage possibly other schools are working with based on their enrollment in those programs. So we might have a better idea of what our needs are gonna be, if there'd be a possibility of looking into that. Then we might have an actual better idea than just guessing.
See, our numbers change though.
Right, but I mean, there's,
Like we'll
Is
have
it-
4 this year and maybe 12 next
But
year.
would there be a max license number for the teacher? Like if we're probably never gonna put more than 2 teachers out there, how many kids could be in the program at 2 teachers? Would
A teacher and an aide.
a teacher and an aide, how many?
Yeah.
I mean, kids in the cities have, or there's 40 kids in a classroom. in the
Okay.
city.
Yeah, there's no,
Okay,
It's not like-
that's not a
it's,
limited
it's
answer either.
it's for us to decide what
Okay.
we feel is safe for our teacher to have.
Perfect.
And since we were sharing with Grantsburg, space wasn't as much of a deal over there, we could accommodate, but if we're just gonna do our own.
Right. But there may be things to look at with other schools, like, is it all just one big open classroom? Are there some individual rooms for study or testing or whatnot?
Or cubicles or-
Cubicles,
And,
yeah.
Webster, I toured with them a couple weeks ago, and it's just an all open, there's a small.
Just like
kitchenette
we had.
and then bathrooms,
But if we're designing it, what is that wish list of
which theirs is a community building owned
Right.
by
a different?
community
yeah,
members,
that's
so
Yeah, they're
I don't know if there's
renting.
partners in the community that would be interested in having something like that here, but.
But to have a wish list of the things that we would want to put into it will be helpful.
We'll bring information
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
buildings and just
Go from
let you guys chew on it there and see where it'll go.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully after this evening, we're gonna have some time to work on that anyway, so.
Okay.
Okay, so that's going back to buildings and grounds with no action tonight. The 2023-2024 handbooks. These were, yep, everybody got a copy though. I had them sent out early, so everybody had time to review them.
Mhm.
So
Elementary.
yep, they have to be approved individually. Did everyone have a chance to review those handbooks? Yes, okay, so at this time, I'll make a motion to approve the elementary handbook,
I'll second that.
seconded by Katie. Any discussion on the elementary handbook?
the only thing I have is the same that I mentioned when it was brought up in regards to the junior, senior high or junior and high school one also.
Oh, we're only elementary right now.
Right, but
Okay.
the temperature for the health being
Oh.
99 is a fever and kids are getting sent home. Did we ever?
And that was
look into that,
DPI,
see if we
correct?
could Find it.
I did not look into it, no.
That it should be higher.
Yeah. Cause 99 is pretty low.
It is. The actual science says our metabolisms as a society are all running slower, and there's people that are actually febrile at lower temperatures than even 99. Like temperature is a very poor indicator of sickness in general, but it's the easiest one to measure in any setting without a healthcare professional. So it's an unfortunate one.
That's still pretty low.
It is,
You want
but,
us to look into.
but if your body temperature runs
We do have a new nurse potentially coming on as well.
98.
We can still make that change
Yeah.
once we look into it.
That's my only issue. with-
Okay.
And that, both,
Mhm.
so.
Have you seen a number? Have you seen a number?
A while back I had read, and I thought it was through the DPI, that was like 100.1 or 100.5.
Okay.
That was the fever temperature. And that's one of the reasons why I keep going.
My guess is that we changed that due to COVID. Because I'm pretty sure like even our back to school plan has that.
Yeah.
Maybe not anymore, but, because I think that's what. that whole-
Mandated during COVID, yeah.
So we'll go back and hit that
Yeah,
again.
100 yeah, they did.
Okay.
Oh, it was 100 I don't
I
know.
thought it was 100.1 or 100.
I have one other question. Do we still have that Jeff Dunham with the Siren Clinic overseeing our nurse
I have no idea.
under the health services part of your elementary?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is that in the
I'm
handbook?
assuming yes, because
Yes.
nobody's directed
Oh.
me to change it.
Okay, I didn't.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Question, so I didn't document that.
Oh.
You don't have to keep every part of a discussion on the note. Okay.
So, yeah, so with the COVID one, that was the linchpin of getting back into schools. The
Was that we had to
They were
use that
dealing
temperature?
with That,
Okay,
I don't
so,
know.
There are. gonna
so
be
would
people
everybody
that
be
run a
okay with
fever at
this? If
98,
we approve the
97.
handbook, but we have them check the temperature and we can change it if it's allowed by DPI?
I mean, we can.
Is everybody good with that?
Standard,
Yeah.
if you want.
Laura just pulled it up.
Okay.
With a fever greater than 100.4.
Okay,
So if
So that's
want
what
to
you
use
said too.
that,
okay, so can we make that? So,
Do we need discussion with the new nurse before we pull the plug on that, or just
The
do
nurse
it?
Did this.
It's up to the board, I guess.
School nurse made this plan,
Mhm.
so transition with school nurse.
Mhm.
Do they-
But if we're following the Department of Public Instruction.
yeah, if it's a DPI rule, we should be fine with it.
Okay.
If she wants to come in
So,
and change it.
I'll amend my motion to approve the elementary handbook with the change of the fever of 100.4.
Does it also have to be changed on that COVID one?
So, no, it's not
It's
on
not
there.
Not on there, okay.
So do you agree to amend your second?
Me, did I second
Yeah?
it? Okay, yes.
Yeah, I wrote your name down.
Yes,
Okay,
You didn't, you are now.
okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Again, I'm hopeful that the nurses evaluated by more than just temperature.
Yes.
Jamie, you didn't have anything else? Just the one piece that-
I just have a concern on, where we sign off on allowing our kids' pictures to be presented. I don't have a problem with that. I just wonder, like, when we do the Facebook post, if like maybe we shouldn't be sharing family names. Just like my sister made a comment just back to the Jamie Kloss situation, that like, oh, they see Jada and then they figure out she's Peggy's daughter, and then they know where she lives. Kind of thing, if maybe we just stop, I don't know. It's just.
Are they posted with kids' names now?
Well, like, yeah, it's like the student of the week. It'll have
Oh.
Calvin and then it'll have, whose parents, and it's great to, I think it's great to have parents' names there, but then I also think like on the flip side, like, well, now they can track, and obviously they can track down anyways. So it's one of those, like, I don't know which is better, which is worse kind of thing.
Yeah, I
I don't know. And
I
of course,
think
it's
you guys-
probably a discussion back to policy or somewhere
Yeah.
else
Yeah.
than tonight. And that's the
Yeah.
only
So
thing. So.
Lisa, if you'd make a note that we want to discuss that policy and privacy at the next policy and planning.
And
meeting.
maybe Jesse, Jack, maybe there's something else with technology that, because I was wondering that too, if that's all in the handbook or if there's something separate that Jesse has for us to sign. I don't remember. A lot of times it's like, here's paperwork. When you buy a car, it's like, okay, I want this car. I'm just signing this stuff. So
Okay,
that's it. Thank you.
then we're moving to the approval of the middle school, high school handbook.
I'll make a motion to approve the middle and high school handbook.
With the same thing, changing
Changing the temperature.
second that.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Kelly to approve the middle school, high school handbook, again with the change of the temperature.
And then
Yep, discussion.
are we ready? Okay.
Mhm.
I just saw a few, like page 4, I don't know if it's supposed to be 2021 school year. I don't know what page it was, but for swing choir,
In the table of contents.
the name was changed, class advisory should be updated. Middle school b-ball, it has changed,
Well, we don't know that yet.
middle school, it has, because it's
Why?
not Tinman anymore. It changed last year.
We have two open volleyball.
I said basketball. And then track, I don't know, and what I guess this was what I was reading, so maybe there's something different than what I was looking at. And then I was wondering with the alert now, are we able to put a grade or a student? Because I get one saying your student is unexcused, and I'm like, great, I got 4, which one is it? No.
I don't think we can dial it down that far.
I mean, not a big
Because
deal, I
it's
usually just
with-
reach out to the kids.
No, because it's an automatic, it's a communication between our power school and the alert now, so
Okay.
there's no way
That was
to.
a setting that you set up, right, as a parent? I
Yeah,
thought.
there's nowhere to change, I know, I don't think so, I don't
think
know.
We set this up even.
I think you guys do, because I think we just give you our number with our,
And I don't think we are able to drill it down that far.
okay.
It's just-
Well, I think it's interesting, because I think Con actually gets cats and I just get Trisha's, but I don't always
I know.
know for sure.
We get them too at the end of the day in the elementary school,
Yeah, no, I've never got one.
and it's, but it's.
Yes, I
cri- it's
I must
our
not have signed
primary
up for it.
number.
I don't know that Sophia or Matthias.
I must
The
not have signed
system
up
that
for them
calls
because I
to
don't
say
get
you have an
that.
absent
My
child.
kid's
I
gone.
get it at
I'm
like, Chris will get it at
excited. I
like
never got it.
2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I think I've gotten one, I don't
I
know.
don't think we have any control.
No, it's
Yeah.
just the technology deal. We had to fuss around
We can
with,
talk to
Okay.
Jessie, I guess.
Yeah.
See if she can.
they had to reset some phone numbers for us.
And then are middle school gonna have homeroom teachers this year? Because they haven't. I think it'd be great if they did, because in the handbook on page 8, it mentions, I don't know if that's actually page 8, but I wrote page 8, homeroom teachers. So I was just curious, that made me wonder about if they're gonna be having, because it said discuss with the
What's that?
homeroom teacher. I think it had to do with e-learning.
I think that just means with their individual teachers, and so that part is
So if it says
just like.
homeroom, it should be changed to classroom
Just their
teachers.
classroom
Okay.
teachers, yeah.
I just think it'd be good
That's-
for them to
yeah.
have homeroom teachers as new. I know this is a discussion I've had before, but that's fine. And then page 46, again, just said 2021, 2022,
I
use of
knew I'd seen it in
technology.
there somewhere.
And then page 54, 2021, 2022.
I thought it was yours. I'm
I know.
sorry,
I
Carrie.
read the
I kept
highlight
going, I
part.
see 20.
No, as I was looking at, I bet you Peggy meant the
I
high school,
did.
middle
Yeah,
school.
sorry, Gary, made you read the whole thing all
It's
over
okay.
again.
I'm still not finding the temperature of the
Oh.
kids.
Oh, it's in the new nurse thing.
Okay, so Jamie, you have notes of those changes? Okay. So Katie,
So I will
amend it to
amend
include those
to
changes?
include the necessary changes as needed with
my-
dates
Okay.
and names.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. All right, support staff handbook. And that was basically
This-
the very
Yeah,
small
yeah.
changes, yeah, that you have on your sheet there. So I will make a motion that we approve this support staff handbook. Okay, I have a motion by myself, seconded by Kelly. Any discussion?
I just think page 4, there was just 2 holes in the first paragraph.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What was that?
On page 4, it says on the first paragraph, I think on the bottom, it said full. I think it's supposed to be full-time, and there's just, I think you just need to delete a full.
There's just a duplicate word.
Thank you. So then I guess I just have a question too, when it comes to like support staff making inappropriate comments and saying stuff like derogatory, is that just classified under unprofessional conduct? And the list on page 20?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured as much, but I just wanted to clarify that for myself. That's it.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Certified staff.
I'll make a motion to accept the certified staff handbook.
I'll second that.
A motion by Jamie, seconded by Katie to approve the certified staff handbook. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and that leaves us with district staff.
Make a motion to approve the district staff handbook changes.
A motion by Jamie, seconded by Kelly to approve the district staff. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting calendars. All right, so budget and finance. 21st at 4:15. Dave? Does that work for you? Is he,
On the
am
fifth.
I right? Wait a minute. Yeah,
Not hitting me. Yeah,
yes, Katie?
Yep.
Okay, so that one stands. Building and grounds, Thursday, the 10th at 3. Does that work for buildings and grounds?
Yep.
Dwayne, but
Yeah.
hopefully it works for them.
Tom?
So good.
Okay, sorry, I can't.
No worries.
Policy, planning and curriculum.
What works for you, Kelly? Peggy? Are we need to schedule one? Yeah,
Tuesdays,
we're adding.
yeah.
So I'm gone the 7th, 8th, returning the morning, the 9th.
Okay,
Well, Lisa's out that week anyway.
How about,
Friday meeting,
um,
20.
Tuesday, the 15th
That works for me.
at 4:15. Kelly, can you do it?
I can't at 4:15.
Okay. What time could you do it?
I could do it at 5,
Okay, is there any days you can do it 4:15?
yeah, the week before.
What about the?
You're out of town on the 8th though.
What about the 22nd? Do it at 4:15 on the 22nd.
That'd be,
22nd work for you?
yeah, I can make it work.
Otherwise, we can do a different day besides Tuesday.
Like what day?
But I mean,
I'm trying to remember which day I have babysitters.
well, even like the 9th. That's a Wednesday.
I think I can do that.
I could do any time because I get home.
So
Late
4:15, can you do that? Can you do a Wednesday? I'm sorry? What's the matter?
Lisa's out.
Oh, the 9th?
Not to Kevin that he'll have to.
That's fine. I'll be-
All right, we can keep good enough notes.
Yeah, just take notes, because it's hard for me to engage in a conversation when I'm taking notes.
Okay, so policy and planning will be the 9th at 4:15.
Or Wednesday?
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought I heard Tuesday.
Tuesday didn't work.
Wednesday, August 9th. I can't even.
Yeah. I'd say earlier, but if I have a customer walk in at the last minute, I can't walk out.
Right.
My boss gets a little upset about that. And then the regular meeting will be Monday, the 28th at 6 PM. And so that will be the day before school starts. Okay,
I have a calendar question, like our school year as a whole calendar. I find it difficult to find the information, like searching for our academic calendar. Could we make a PDF of just like what we get on the magnet? Like the in-service days and the holiday days, like just so that there's one PDF page on our website that would
isn't there?
give
I
that.
thought the school calendar was on the website.
The calendar is, but you have to like sort it to find the things. And sometimes like Easter break is a different than Christmas break. You can't just search days off.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you have to sort it and find it.
Yeah, on the district page, the whole district calendar, just like the magnets there.
It is,
Yeah,
okay.
it's on the
I just-
district page though. That's where the
Oh.
district calendar is.
So
Yeah,
maybe I'll
otherwise,
send
that
it.
other one is
Okay.
ridiculous. I agree.
Okay, I've
I have a
been
terrible
only
time.
using
Thank you, Sarah.
the
I
regular
usually like,
calendar.
I can find it, but I never know where it is when I'm trying to think.
No, just to find the days that their kids are off
Like,
school,
So,
basically, the half day.
so some parents actually plan their vacations around the days the kids are out.
No, I'm not, I have to plan which days I have to take off work, so I have to
Well, that
look the
too.
whole calendar up.
Okay,
So.
so it's there. It's just
the-
a matter of
just-
looking in the wrong
Just the
place.
information that's on the
I won't be
magnet.
here for the
Yeah.
regular school meeting because football is out of town that day. Just so you know.
Okay, so Kelly is excused from the regular school board meeting on the 28th. Thank you.
Can I revisit something?
What?
Just that I need clarification on. Going back to Jamie, your comment about Facebook and last names. Did we make a determination if we're going to be removing those?
No, we're gonna go to policy and talk about it.
Because then that would affect the newspaper
Paper,
as
yeah.
well.
Right,
So
yeah, we'll
Yeah, I
discuss
don't
it.
know if it's a safety issue or, I mean, I think anything could potentially be a safety issue.
just want to.
I think if we were in a big city, it'd be a really big issue, but here I think everybody knows, like, everybody already knows where I live. So it doesn't matter if you put my name in the paper or not, everybody knows where I live. Everybody knows who my kids are. I mean, we live in a town of.
I mean,
600
do
people.
we have that run in though, where parents have not signed?
Yes,
the
and then we
photo?
don't put their pictures.
We just don't put the picture, but we still put the information?
No,
No.
They just,
no,
Don't
they have the right
get-
to opt out of all media.
right.
Yes.
So they just don't get to be student of the week?
Well,
The time of classroom is just not posted on.
Okay.
okay,
So.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be post, the kid's picture wouldn't be there with the name?
if the kid says they can't, if the parents have signed off on no.
Okay,
But more,
But we're not changing anything right now. We're just saying, they are already signing that in the handbook. You're
For
saying
sure.
I give permission for my kid to be
Yeah.
used or I don't.
It just
That's
doesn't
all
have
we're-
anything listed as
Um,
parents'
and-
names listed on that.
okay.
Go look at the thing again. Okay. So we're gonna move on to the approval of the bills. Do I have a motion?
I will second that.
A motion by Kelly, seconded by Katie to pay the bills. Any discussion
I have a couple questions and can I direct them to maybe Karsten?
about bills? Yeah.
Well, I'm just questioning, so there's like one for the wrestling share, and it was this part of the portion that did the other schools agree on that, or is that going forward for the?
That
coming
is
year?
what was agreed upon is moving forward.
Okay, so this is just something
That
that we
is-
paid this year?
That is what every school is split it evenly this year.
Okay, and it's just high school or this middle school?
That covers all wrestling bills. Now, the co-op will be assigned, which is the flat fee, and then the percentage will go into effect for gymnastics, which we do not belong to, wrestling and hockey. That will be starting this fall.
Okay. And then, since I'm just on it, do we do anything with? Sidebar, with, like letting the girls know about like trying to build our wrestling program with girls? Middle school, high school?
They're all part of it, middle school and youth had girls this year. And they will be doing the new law.
Jada got a note. when it
they'll-
started.
For the
yeah.
Bulldogs, I know, I should know, like, as we get into high school or middle school.
Yeah, they plan on having one or two high school girls this year wrestle. There'll be a new launch. They did, on a side note, they did agree to the synergy, the new colors. Everything has been agreed to, so it is no longer the LFGS Bulldog or LFGS Wrestling. It is now the LFGS Synergy. They're going to black, silver and yellow. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that has been agreed upon through Luck.
Oh,
So,
well,
Luck is the head of wrestling currently, and since they were the head of wrestling, it was always red and black. Well, other schools took offense, that's Luck color, so they've done their own. But yes, that is a plan now this year, that they will have a separate girls and a boys high school wrestling.
okay. And then secondly, for softball, is this what our co-op agreement, I mean, it just seems really high, $6,000?
Yeah, they ordered new uniforms, and since they're in charge of it, they just order what they want and just put the money in.
And so, yeah, speaking of, can we get a new co-op, like a discussion going with them with the issues we had this year?
We can have a
I just don't know, because I know I talked to Scott, you know, just about transportation, everything. Sorry, no,
Yes,
sorry,
I-
but yeah.
But yes, policy, we need to come up with a new policy because there's up.
So that needs to go to policy.
My calendar.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, obviously it's not
Okay.
what we need to discuss now. but
Kevin,
there's
I
a-
just-
For you, I'm gonna work on that.
Okay,
Just since we had, what's going on, are we getting water hooked up? For concession?
The person I talked to is in planning of getting us a full itemized bill, and I told them I needed it by the first home football game. They're in the process of getting me a quote, they know I would like it done by then, it's just the jocks. I talked to him, I met with him before I left for Florida, so I just stepped back less than I have not talked to him, but he knows what I would like and when I'd like it by.
So you still plan, it's gonna happen.
That, as long as it works into his schedule, it works into my schedule.
Okay,
I did have
so
a
I know we
discussion, I met with him.
Okay.
discussed it at another meeting and we weren't sure where it was at. All right, thanks, Karsten. I'm good then.
Okay. So I have a motion to pay the bills and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Any items for signature tonight, Lisa?
Just the vouchers.
And those are done. Katie and I took care of those. So at this time, we'll convene to close session under Wisconsin State Statute 19.851 C, E, F, and G to consider the employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, considerations of financial, medical, social, or personal information, and to confer with legal counsel who is rendering oral or written advice.
Motion to go into closed session.
A motion by Kelly, seconded by Katie to go to closed session. I need the clerk to call the roll.
This is gonna be tough. All right, Jamie,
Yes. Yes, you're here.
Peggy,
Yes. Yes.
Katie,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Tom,
and
Tom,